Hi, welcome to Soul Kitchen. I'm Chef Eric Austin, Big E, and today we're going to be working with a great southern fish, but with my own special twist on it. So get ready for Big E's own panko fried red snapper. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I said panko fried, but what exactly is panko? Well, let me talk to you a little bit about it. Panko is a Japanese product, baked more like a cracker or a wafer, and it's much more crispier than the breadcrumbs we're used to here in the States. It's important when using panko to remember these three setups: flour, egg wash, and breadcrumb, in that order. The reason I said in that order is because the flour will adhere to the fish, the egg will adhere to the flour, and the breadcrumb will adhere to the egg. Any other way, and it's a recipe for disaster. And so now I'm going to take this wonderful red snapper. I'm going to dredge it first in the flour, then into the egg wash, making sure it's completely coated on both sides, and then into the panko breadcrumb, making sure it's evenly placed all over the fish. Next up is a great way to prepare roasted corn succotash. It's really fun. In fact, do it in front of your friends and they'll be stunned and amazed. I'm simply going to grab an ear of corn and place it directly on an open burner. Not to worry, there won't be any smoke, as you can tell. There may be some popping, but no smoke. Didn't I tell you that would be fun? We're not only about soul here at Soul Kitchen, but we're about fun as well. So, now that that corn is cooled, we're simply going to take it, stand it upright, and we're going to remove the kernels right off the cob. With a sharp knife, start at the top and carefully bring the knife down along those kernels. We just want to remove each kernel from the cob. Okay. Now that I've gotten those kernels off the cob, I'm simply going to place them in a large mixing bowl. And then I'm going to add all of the other vegetables that will make it a succotash. Some orange bell peppers, some red bell peppers, some cut French green beans, and some julienne red onions. You know, it's important to julienne all of the vegetables just like you see here. That makes for nice, even cooking. Remember, we want color, texture, flavor, and appeal. Now that I've gotten that great colorful melange of vegetables all together in the pot, I'm going to mix it all up. And don't be afraid to use your hands. Feel your food. Make cooking fun. Know the texture of what it is you're cooking. So mix all of those vegetables up there. This is a corn succotash, you know. I have here what's called a rutabaga. It's a great southern staple, but rutabagas can be difficult to cut because of its hard fibers outside. But I'm going to show you a technique that makes all of that really easy. Starting with the bottom of the rutabaga, this section here, you'll be able to tell by where they pulled it out of the ground. I'm just going to cut that off so I have a platform. Make sure you have a nice, good, sharp knife. And I'm going to stand that up and turn it to the other side, and I'm going to do the same. Now that I have that, I'm going to take my knife and go around the contours of the rutabaga. Rutabagas, like I said, belong to the turnip family, and turnips are abundant throughout the South. Okay, now that I've got my rutabaga cut into nice large sections, they don't necessarily have to be even at this point because we're going to be boiling them and mashing them. I just want semi-even pieces because they boil at an even rate. Okay, I'm going to be placing these pieces in boiling water for about 15 to 20 minutes. And as you can see, after about 15 to 20 minutes, the color goes from a bright yellow to this nice orange color here. That is an indication that the rutabaga is done. What soul food means to me is a natural food. That above all. I mean, coming from the heart, it's unpretentious. You know what you're getting into, particularly when it comes down to where the food originated from. I mean, it was born out of necessity. Field grains and grain that had been given to the cattle that was left over, they utilized anything they could get their hands on. And it fed not only your body, but knowing where it came from, it fed your very soul, and that's what soul food still means to me. Unpretentious food that feeds the soul. I'm Eric Austin, and I was born in a place called Indianola, Mississippi. I mean, we had railroad tracks in this small southern town. I can't remember a time when there wasn't something cooking at somebody's house. I mean, every street you walked on, there was the aroma of food. There was the aroma of greens and cornbread and fried chicken cooking. People would come home for lunch and they ate together. You know, the very first memories of cooking was with my grandmother. I mean, there were a few disastrous moments. I wasn't always the chef that I am now, but it was my grandmother who taught me how to make biscuits, fry chicken. I mean, I remember one particular time I asked my grandmother, could I make the meal? And she let me make it, and my very first meal, I mean, I must have been 8 years old, was crunchy spaghetti, undercooked bloody chicken, and doughy biscuits. And my grandfather tried his best to get through it, and he, after about 4 or 5 bites, said, "Grandmother, after we finish this meal, I want you to teach that boy how to make proper food." And particularly with my soul food roots and background, I thought that there must be more to the cuisine than just what was being presented to me. Oh, sure, everyone knows soul food is fried chicken, black-eyed peas. But to me, after spending time in places like France and Europe and London and Amsterdam and various places, I began to wonder if there couldn't be more to soul food cuisine. And I thought to myself, why can't it be like that with soul food? I'm not trying to change the essence of soul food. The essence is still there. The other thing about neo-soul food to me is I can call on the ingredients from other world cuisines. Have I changed the essence of the fish? No. I've simply changed the technique whereby I can get a better tasting, probably more appealing looking dish. Soul food is like Mississippi is. Some things in the South, they are just what they are.